Hello, and welcome to the Community Catalyst Grants Capital Round 3 Neighborly Training for our online application portal. When you first log on to the application portal, which is linked on the website, you will need to, if you have not already done so, register an account. Come up and navigate to the button that says Register and fill in all of your pertinent information and press Continue. You'll then get a confirmation email that you will have to verify so that you can log in completely. Once you have verified your email address, you can log into our participant portal. When you log into the portal, you'll see a welcome message with your name at the top, as well as the Baltimore City Department of Housing and Community Development logo. The first step is that you need to start a new application. You'll see a long list of different applications that you can consider, but for this particular program, we are looking at CCG Capital. You'll see here that this is the Community Catalyst Grant for Capital. They are due by May 20th, 2022 at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So all you need to do is click Start a New Application. You'll get a pop-up that asks you for a last name and a first name. Once you hit Start Application, you will land on your main application page. You'll see a few reminders, things like when the application is due. You'll see where you can send questions if you have any as you work. Those questions can be either technical questions about support for this neighborly application, or it could be questions about the content of your application. Please don't hesitate, any questions, reach out to us right away. I do want to point out just a few things to you before moving on. This left-hand sidebar is really your key navigation portal. You can view the users who are associated with your application. If you have more than one stakeholder who you would like to be able to see and make changes to your application, you can click Add a User and enter their email address. Once you add them, they will have access to view information in your application and make changes. Additionally, if at any point during your application you wish to print it, you can come to this print button and it will convert your application into a PDF that you can either then save digitally and or print for your record keeping purposes. So let's get started on the application. We're going to click here to continue. The first thing that you'll be taken to is the program overview. You're going to want to read through this carefully as there are lots of good details and bits of information for you to take in about the Community Catalyst Grant Program, as well as what is currently being offered. A few things to point out to you. This is round 3 of our CCG grant program. If your organization was previously awarded CCG funds in both round 1, fiscal year 19, and round 2, fiscal year 20 and 21, for operating or capital grants, you are ineligible for a round 3 award. So please, if that is you, please do not submit an application at this time. As I said before, any questions and inquiries that you have should be sent to us at the dhcdccg@baltimorecity.gov email address. If you would like to submit written questions and inquiries for publication, we need to receive those no later than April 22nd, 2022 at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will then publish the responses on our website no later than close of business on April 27th so that all applicants have a chance to review those questions and answers. We will not accept any late submissions, so if you do have any questions or need technical assistance, please be sure to reach out. One other thing that I would like to point out to you is at the top of each page of the application, you'll see a link to the full funding guidelines. This document is really critical and outlines all of the details that you need to know about our application. So if at any point you are looking at something on this neighborly portal and you're not sure what it is, please refer back to the funding guidelines first. And if your question is not answered there, then proceed to please email the DHCD CCG email account so that we can better assist you. Once you have fully reviewed this first page, you don't have anything you need to do on it. You can just click complete and continue. You'll notice on the left sidebar, once you have completed and continued each page of the application, you will get a green check mark verifying. So let's start filling in part A of the application, your applicant information. Once you've entered all of your organizational information, you do need to answer two critical questions. Are you applying with a partner? And do you have a fiscal agent? Anytime that you see a blue circle with a question mark, you can hover over it, and that will give you a little more information as a tooltip about whatever the question is. So, if you are applying with a partner, you'll click yes. If you're not, you'll click no. When you click no, you'll notice that nothing happens. However, when you click yes, you'll see that there is additional information that needs to be filled in for your partner. Please note that this is required information. Same thing with do you have a fiscal agent? If yes, click yes. If no, click no. So let's assume that for this one we do have a fiscal agent. Let's fill in that information now. When you've completed filling in all of the information, you can scroll down and click complete and continue. Or you can click save if you want to save what you have so far but come back with more information later. You'll notice right now, I cannot complete and continue. I'm getting the red stop sign. The reason for this is because not all required documents have been uploaded. If I look back, I see that I have missed uploading my fiscal sponsorship and management services and pricing, which is required if I have a fiscal agent. To upload documents, all you do is click Upload File. Select your file from your computer. You'll see that the name of the file shows up here, so you can verify it's the right one. And when you're ready, hit Complete and Continue. Part B of our application is Applicant Classification. You will need to determine if you are applying as an emerging or established organization. You can find more information about how to determine your status as emerging or established by utilizing the tooltip or by consulting the funding guidelines for the full explanation. For this sample video, I will say that I am an emerging organization. You'll then need to submit a narrative explaining why you selected your classification. This narrative should be a maximum of 3 pages long. And we also do require an organizational chart. So you will click Upload File and add those documents from your computer. Again, if you need to check whether or not it worked, you'll see a little green check mark that a document has been uploaded. And you can also see where it says add another file, the name of the documents you've already uploaded. If for some reason you do have multiple files to upload, you can always click add another file and you'll see that opportunity there. Scrolling down, if you are currently receiving CCG funds, please indicate yes. You'll notice that for a number of questions, just like with the fiscal agent or partner question from Part A of the application, there may be times where additional information is required depending upon your answer. So please be sure that if additional questions pop up, that you are filling in all of them to the best of your ability. So we'll answer all of our questions. If you come to something that says Add Row, this is where you, as the applicant, can add as many rows as needed to share with us the full information you need. So you'll click Add Row, and then you would put in the information about the type of funds, the name of the project, and the amount of funds. Once you've added that, you can then add additional rows as needed. If you add too many by mistake, you can just hit the red X to delete them. You'll indicate what this grant application is for. So, for an expansion of an existing project or program, a new program or project, or if you need to explain it in words, you can always select Other and then type out your response. Please identify the neighborhood and council district that you'll be operating in. If you have completed a strategic plan, you'll need to include the date that the strategic plan was created, as well as the plan itself as an upload. And you'll also have to verify if you are or are not receiving city funds. If yes, there will be more information for you to complete. If no, it's time to complete and continue. Part C of the application is where you'll really begin to tell us about your project. You will let us know the total project cost, which is a maximum of $4 million, as well as the amount of CCG capital funds requested. Please note that CCG funds are only to be used for a maximum of 40% of your total project costs. And you'll also need to include a brief description of your request for funds. Next, you need to let us know the locations of your proposed activity. Using the hyperlink to Code Map, you can search the property addresses, capture a screenshot, and upload that screenshot to the Capital Projects Map requirement. If you have any questions about how to use Code Map to create a screenshot Capital Projects Map, please reach out via email and we will support you as best as we can. Next, you need to identify if your project will be operating in an impact investment area. Please be sure to click on the link for the impact investment area map or utilize the tooltip to identify the neighborhoods included. One of the most important aspects of your capital application is the question of site control. Site control is critical for your proposed activity for a grant to move forward. Please note that CCG capital funds may be used to acquire non-city owned or privately owned properties, but cannot be used to acquire city-owned properties. You will need to provide evidence of site control, such as an approved contract of sale, an option to purchase, or a land disposition agreement, for example. If you can demonstrate site control for all properties included in your project, you'll click Yes, and then be required to upload evidence of site control. Note that the documents for site control could include all sorts of different types of site control. However, each property indicated in the application does need to be accounted for. However, if you cannot yet demonstrate site control for all properties, you can still apply by saying no and then uploading a site control plan of action. For each property involved in the project, you must have at least one paragraph of explanation for your strategy to get site control in order to complete the project. After sharing either your site control evidence or site control plan of action, you need to let us know which goals of the Department of Housing and Community Development your project or program supports. Read through these and check off all that apply. Finally, for Part C, let us know how you intend to use your CCG funding. Again, check all that apply. When all information for Part C is complete, you can click Complete and Continue. Part D of your application is where you'll share with us important information about your development team. First, identify the type of organization that you are. For example, a partnership, a not-for-profit, a joint venture, corporation, etc. If your entity is a joint venture, please provide principals for each entity. You will also want to note whether they are an MBE, Minority Business Enterprise, or a WBE, a woman's business enterprise. If you do not have anything to put here, you can always just add the row and then click NA. Next, you'll need to provide information about your development team members and consultants. Things like architects, engineers, general contractors, marketing and sales, legal consultants, as well as any other that you need to put in. Please provide their name, address, email, telephone number, fax number if applicable, as well as indicate whether they are a minority or women's business enterprise. And again, if this is not applicable for you, you can always select NA. When you've entered all of this information, please hit Complete and Continue. Part E of your application is where you will upload several project narratives based around different topics around your project. Please remember that you can always click Save while you're working and come back to it later if you need to work on a document and come back and forth. Always remember that you can save as you go. The first narrative is the capital project description. You'll notice that there are a number of different questions that you should consider answering. You also are limited to a maximum of 3 pages. One other thing to note, typically CCG Capital Awards are intended for use with more than 3 units. If you are requesting funds for a project that will impact 3 or fewer units, please do not forget to include the request for waiver form, which you can get by clicking the link here. The next narrative is applicant capacity. Again, it is a maximum of 3 pages to answer the questions that are provided. Next is community engagement. Please, in a maximum of 2 pages, describe the community's role and engagement in your project. Note that you are allowed to submit letters of community support. However, those letters are not required, but they also do not have a page limit and are not included in your 2-page maximum capital narrative for community engagement. For your project schedule, you must utilize the project schedule template provided via hyperlink here in the application. After clicking and downloading it, then completing all tabs and all information, please upload your completed project schedule. After uploading your project schedule utilizing the project schedule template provided in the application, you'll then provide us your project evaluation process as a maximum 2-page narrative. As a reminder, you will be required to provide quarterly reports if you are awarded. Next, please provide a narrative of 1-page maximum, indicating your construction methodology. Finally, please provide a maximum 2-page narrative explaining how your project addresses concerns of diversity, equity, and/or inclusion. When you have done so, please hit Complete and Continue. Part F of your application includes information about your project budget and financing. You will need to provide 3 key pieces of information for your project's budget and financing. You are required to submit a capital budget narrative, a capital budget, and a funder's letter of intent. Please note that your budget itself must utilize the development budget form that can be downloaded by clicking this hyperlink. If you submit a capital budget that is not utilizing this required template, or that is incomplete with any missing information from any of the multiple tabs on the template, your application will not be considered for review. Please, if you have any questions about the development budget form, please contact us at the DHCD CCG email account so that we can assist you as you work through your application. When you have uploaded all required documents, please hit complete and continue. Part G of your application is the required document checklist. Please note that failure to include relevant files will result in your application being considered incomplete and therefore disqualified for consideration of an award. Supporting documents that are required are indicated by a red required with an asterisk. Note that not all documents on this list are required. If they do not say required, then they are optional and supplemental. You'll notice that many documents have auto-populated from the application that you've been filling in as you go. However, not all are there. Things like your most recent 990 tax return, which should be no older than 2019, or evidence of good standing with the state of Maryland for all parties, are required to be uploaded even though they had not previously come up in any questions on the application so far. When you are done uploading all required documents, as well as any optional and supplemental documents that you wish to include, you will hit complete and continue. Please note that any of the documents that are listed in blue are actually hyperlinks to download templates. Section H of the application is the certification of compliance. Please read through the full certification. Click the box to indicate that you have read and understood. Click to electronically sign. As well as add your title. If this application is a joint venture, please click yes, download the joint venture form, have all parties sign it, and upload it here. However, if it is not a joint venture, click no, and then hit complete and continue. Finally, you will come to our submission page. Please note that once your application is submitted, it can only be reopened by an administrator. If you require your application to be reopened, please reach out via email to the CCG team. Please read the full certification and authorization statement and acknowledge your understanding and agreement by clicking the checkbox. Then, electronically sign, and again include your title. Please note that this form must be completed, signed, and returned by the fiscal agent, if applicable, and the applicant. Additionally, if there are multiple organizations involved in your application, then the certification and authorization form must be completed and signed by all parties. You'll use this last question to indicate whether or not you have a fiscal agent or multiple organizations involved in your application. If yes, please utilize the hyperlink to download the application certification form, have it signed by all relevant parties, and upload. If not, indicate no, and you don't have to do anything further. You have completed your application and reviewed all information to be sure that it is correct to the best of your knowledge. Please click Complete and Submit. Congratulations, you have successfully submitted your application for a CCG capital grant. Whenever you log into the participant portal, you will now be able to see your existing submitted application to view. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out to the CCG team. We look forward to assisting you.